This is Rock Talk with Mitch Lafon. Mitch Lafon.
Welcome to the special YouTube edition of Rock Talk with Mitch Lafon. Join me on this episode. It is Saxon frontman Biff Byford. We talk about their new album, Thunderbolt, his upcoming solo album, and a lot more. I had a chance to catch up with Biff sitting on their tour bus outside of the TD Place in Ottawa as part of the Judas Priest Black Star Riders Saxon Triple Bill. And let me tell you, it was a glorious, glorious day and event. I saw Black Star Riders on the Saturday in Montreal at a solo event or at a headlining gig, and I saw Saxon and Black Star Riders a week before in Poughkeepsie at the Chance. Wow, just delivering the goods. That is what those bands are doing. And so, without further ado, here is the one, the only, singer Biff Byford.
We're speaking with Saxon's Biff Byford. Pleasure to have you in Ottawa, Biff.
Great to be here.
Yes, the band has been around since 1977. So we are going on, well, my math skills aren't that good. My math skills aren't that good, but 41 years, right?
Well, actually, the band Saxon started in 1979.
With the first album?
With the first album. We didn't change our name until 1979. Right. There was a band around in 1977, but it wasn't Saxon. So our 40th anniversary is next year. Just to set the record straight.
Just to set the record straight. Well, any plans then for the 40th anniversary since we've mentioned
Yeah, we have some plans, but I can't tell you.
You can't tell me. But in your book from 2007, To Never Surrender, you spoke about the heartache and the ups and downs of a successful musical career and how you got here. Talk to me a little bit about that. What are some of the biggest sacrifices you've had to make to keep the band running for so long?
I think in the early years, I was married when I was quite young and had 2 children. So I think that relationship I had to sacrifice. She left me, and there's always a sacrifice. There's always a yin and a yang,
Right.
And just how it is, when you're 18, 19 years old, it's a strange time for your brain to acknowledge what you're getting into. So,
it really is.
So I mean, I do regret that, but in some respects, I don't regret it. And we're friends, we're still friends, right. So it's just what I had to do, really.
Now, of course, the book did come out 11 years ago. Talk to me about the process of writing a book. Was it cathartic, or do you look back at it and go, wow, that was something? Is there an emotional impact in writing that?
Well, I did. Somebody asked me to write a book. It was going to be a Saxon book, but
right.
the other guys weren't really interested. I don't know why. So it turned into an autobiography for me, really.
Right. And
so
a good one at that. And a good one at that.
Yeah, it's good, quite good. There's a few things I haven't put in there. A few personal things and things about other people. I'm not really a snitch, if you know what I mean.
Right.
So it was good fun to write a book. Actually, it was a period where we were, the transition of the band to pulling ourselves back up after the 90s. It was a long, hard struggle to become credible again after the sort of grunge period. I think it was the same for all bands. Rob left Priest and Bruce left Maiden, and we had a few changes. So it was a rough period for bands, but the fans kept us going, and that's the point I wrote the book.
Right. And before I get on to Thunderbolt, do you see yourself following that up with a part 2 or an addendum and just sort of getting it? Because it's been 11 years and you're probably going to go on for the next 5 or 6 or 10.
Well, we've been asked to do another book
okay.
By a couple of English journalists from the day, Jeff Barton, Mick Wall, people like that. So
great guys,
we might do one. I mean, the band are very popular again, so I suppose it's like success breeds success. I suppose when you're not up, nobody wants to know. when you're on, when you're back again, everybody wants to know. It's the nature of entertainment business, I think. When you're hot, you're hot. When you're not, you're not.
You're not, and nobody cares.
But you have to have the never surrender, and keep going really. So yeah, we'll probably do another book. We've been asked to do another book. So I don't know whether it'll be another me book or a band book or whatever. It's up to the boys really. If they want to get involved, then they'll get involved. I don't know. So maybe they don't want people to know their
dirty
their history. Right. I don't know. I don't know.
Let's talk Thunderbolt. Great album, by the way. And I'll start like Nick over there did, but let's start with Andy Sneap, because he really is a producer who gets it. When you hear what he's done with Accept, nailed it. What he's done with Judas Priest, nailed it. And what he's done with you, nailed it. What is it about Andy that he just gets it, and he gets the band?
I think Andy's a massive fan of the 80s first. Right. He loves that period. I think probably, I don't want to snitch on him, but I think Judas Priest is probably his favourite band from the 80s. And
he gets to play with them. Lucky for him.
Lucky for him, yeah. It's funny how it goes. I think he knows what I want, right? He knows what I want, and I work really closely with him. I spend a lot of time with him, and I co-produced the last album with him, Battering Ram, and he mixed Sacrifice, and he's done a lot of live stuff in between for us. So I was able to let him do this album. I trusted him to do the album, I trusted judgment, and so he produced this album. He co-produced. I think he co-produced the Judas Priest album. I think Tom Allen did the album.
Right.
I don't think Andy did the album, but he certainly did our album. There's no doubt about it. And I spent a lot of time down there with him. But it allowed me to spend more time on my vocals and arrangements and things, melodies. So I worked quite closely with Andy, and we have a friendly. It's part of the family, really. We have a friendly banter, So yeah,
great guy. This far into the career, you could easily put your name on a marquee and it'll sell and people know what the band is. What compels you to keep making albums? Why not just say, hey, we'll play Denim and Leather tonight and everybody will be happy?
I don't go down the Twisted Sister mentality.
Right.
I'm not that type of guy.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing against them, I just love them. But they don't write any new albums, they just go out and play the hits.
And that's it.
Or they were doing.
Right, and you could do that very easily.
We could very easily do that.
Of course. And fans would love it.
Why though? Yeah, right. That would mean that I was just part-time.
Right.
I'd be a part-time musician. I think writing new songs keeps the band relevant.
Right.
And, my philosophy of songs, writing songs, is that everything has to be pushing the envelope. Don't be predictable.
Right.
It's easy for older musicians, it's including us, to just lay back and play for the old blues licks.
Sure.
Denim and Leather backwards.
Right.
But I'm not that guy. I push it really hard, and I push the boys and the guitarists, I go, yeah.
So talk to me then about the songwriting process, because as we age, we have different influences, we have different life things. Is it still you have a formula, or do you push the boundaries? So how has the songwriting progressed since the beginning?
Well, there's always, hopefully, there's always a formula.
Right.
Yeah, hopefully there's always a formula somewhere, but I haven't really found one yet. I mean, our formula is great guitar riff,
right,
melody, which is very important.
Which is missing. Which was missing from the 90s.
A little bit. I think we were trying to keep the melody alive, but melody and interesting lyrics, really, and obviously fantastic musicianship. So that's the thing, really. And I only write if the guys send me ideas. I only use the ideas that inspire me.
Okay.
They have lots of ideas that we don't use, unfortunately.
No,
that's how it works.
You seem to have an excess of ideas because you're talking these days about a solo album.
Yeah.
Talk to me about this solo album. Why not put those songs in a Saxon pile and just wait till you go back?
Well, I did. I mean, actually, Rhodey's song was a solo album project, and I do move them across all the time.
Okay.
But actually, originally, They Played Rock and Roll was a solo album idea. So yeah, I moved it across. I do that all the time, And I do have songs that me and Nivs have written for Saxon that I didn't think were right for Saxon that might end up on my solo album.
Okay.
So we do cross-generate.
So how will
if that's the word,
cross-pollinate?
Yeah, maybe.
How will the solo album be different than from a Saxon album? I mean, musically, are you going to be more experimental and try to be more whatever country western? Jokingly said, but musical style, is it going to be a heavy metal album with Biff?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think Saxon already do that now.
Right, but that's it.
I think it's probably going to be a bit more rock and roll, a bit more classic rock, a bit more sort of, I mean, I've got 7 songs.
Okay.
And it's quite mixed, really. Some of them are like Rip Your Face Off, and some of them are like, Wheels of Steel type stuff, 747. So, we'll have to wait and see. Like I say, the way I write is I write individual songs. I don't write albums per se.
Right.
People say, what's the concept behind the album? Because there is no concept. Concept is write as many great songs as possible and see if our fans like it.
Do you have a timeline on the solo album? Is it like I have to get it done by Christmas of 2018, or it'll be when it'll be?
Well, I'm writing on the road already. I'm writing some stuff with Nibs. I'm writing a bit of stuff on my own. We finish here in May in America, and I think we've only got 2 weeks off. We start again, but so I will try and get some time. It's the writing that takes the time, not the recording.
Right.
You can record things really quickly,
especially these days.
Yeah, totally these days.
Bring a rig out on the road.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of producers want to work with me on different studios, want to give me free time. We'll go there, but we'll see.
Do you see the solo album as being just you, or is it going to be a whole bunch of special guests? I know that, you did you guested with Metallica a few years ago. You came out and did Motorcycle Man and stuff like that.
Well, I'm going to ask various people. It's not easy for guitarists to work with you.
Right.
Because they just, smack down a signature solo and
off they go.
Off you go. Singers, I might do some duets and things.
Okay.
We'll see. I want to get the songs written first, and then send. See who wants to work on them. I mean, I'll probably have a nucleus of drummer, bass player. Although I might play bass myself. I've still got my Rickenbacker, so
keep going, man. Bring Sven Dirkschneider back to lay down the beats on this. He's obviously did some stuff with you. In fact, let me talk about Metallica real quick. They have paid homage to you, maybe that's not the right word, but they really respect what you've done. Talk to me about those guys and what it was like when they had you out to those shows where you came out and did Motorcycle Man, you did that stuff. What's sort of your relationship with the Metallica Guys? Well, we
didn't really we met them in 1981, I think, at the Whiskey Go-Go shows, the infamous Go-Go shows, and they sort of fell out with us over something silly that things do, and we didn't really have any contact with them. They went their way and we went our way, and obviously they went into the stratosphere. And I love Metallica. I've always loved all their stuff they've ever done. But one of our rock crew pissed them off in the early days. And, that's how it happens. But we're big friends now, and have been since
those gigs.
They came to see us at Rock am Ring. Actually, it was my book, really. They wrote the book, and I think Lars and the guys read the book, and I did mention in there, that we didn't really know we'd pissed them off, and if you want to use our stage fan in future, you can use it anytime you want. So I thought they probably read that and thought, fair enough. Yeah. So they came to see us in Germany. We were playing a festival together.
Yeah, I do recommend the Never Surrender book. That is such a it's comes from a good place. Like, it's a heartfelt.
Yeah, it's heartfelt. Yeah, there's nothing held back.
Nothing held back.
There's quite a lot of raunchy bits that they took out. But going part 2 maybe.
Part 2.
Yeah.
A lot of bands have announced farewell tours, whether it's Elton John, or eventually Kiss and stuff. You haven't done that yet.
No.
And, you know, I was talking to Frankie Benelli at Quiet Riot. He thinks that we're down to our sort of last 5 to 7 years of classic rock metal. Where do you see that? Do you see yourself like, I need to just go hang out in Hawaii and sit under coconut trees, or are we still...
No, not really. I just think... I'm from the Lemmy school of rock.
Right.
Yeah. I think you should go till you fall over.
Right.
Yeah. But let's see, you know, let's see. My voice is still strong. You know, the band is still quite fit. You know, we can still go around a stage and headbang and shit out of it. So, you know, as long as we're physically all right to do it, then I suppose we won't be thinking about that.
Okay.
And I know Glenn Tipton's, you know, got this thing now, you know, the Parkinson's thing. But, you know, I talked to him at the gigs. He's excited about the album. You know, he's done a few shows, the encores. You know, he's a legend, really. And like Lemmy, you know, Lemmy will go on stage really ill, you know, just try to do the gig for the fans. Yeah. And I think that's what Glenn does. He wants to be there and play for the fans, you know. So yeah, whether we, you know, end up the same place, I don't know.
Well, so since you mentioned Lemmy, let's quickly talk about Lemmy. You did pay tribute to him on the new album with that song. What did he mean to you? Because he was one of these heroes. I mean, I had a great time one time. I was his runner at a show, and I got to drive him around. And that was just like the most glorious afternoon because it was great. What was it about Lemmy that fans that made him so special and so iconic? Because he really was unique.
Well, he had a fantastic career, didn't he? You know, he was a sort of, you know, young kid out there trying to get on, and he did a couple of jobs with Hendrix, and he did a couple of jobs with that, and then he blagged a job with Hawkwind, you know. So he was a bit of a wild boy back in the day, and you know, we met him, like I say, in '79, and it was just. I always got on well with them. You know, we were sort of soul brothers. We had the same sense of humour, and we enjoyed history. So we used to talk a lot about different things that we liked each other. We used to give each other gifts, you know. I'd give him, somebody in Poland would give me a Luger or something, and I'd give it to him. And he'd give me you know, some sort of dagger or something. So we were quite close in those days, and kept close ever since. But he had a wicked sense of humour. Yeah. And he could be quite brutal when he wanted to be. You know, he could throw people out the dressing room really easy.
I actually got to hang with him in the dressing room. It was very nice.
Seeing him do it, yeah. But, you know, if somebody, you know, rubbed him up the wrong way, somebody was a bit disrespectful then.
Oh no, he got
a bit of a temper.
We had that one day, and he was fantastic the entire day.
Nobody pissed him off, obviously.
I didn't. I was very nice. Yeah. You've put out 3 albums in the last 4 years, from Battering Ram to Thunderbolt, and what's the one that not Call to Arms? That was before. Sacrifice. My apologies. Where do you see yourself in the future in terms of recording? Is it Thunderbolt, and we'll write it out sort of a 2-year album cycle?
No, tour? I think we'll tour all year on it.
Okay.
I mean, it is doing absolutely brilliant sales-wise, so we're not going to drop it. We're not going to do a Wheels of Steel and release another one in 4 months. You know what I mean? Right. So we'll keep going it until that. But it's our 40th anniversary next year, so that might put the brakes on it a little bit, you know.
Yeah, but it's just nice to see a band that's had such an illustrious career for so long still coming out because most bands at this part, it's once every 3 years, once every 5 years.
No, we're thinking about the next album. We started writing. We started writing some ideas down, yeah. Some thoughts, you know, of different titles maybe, you know, thinking of titles.
And we'll get there. And so when we'll finish on this, the Judas Priest tour, of course, what's that like? What's it been like so far for you? Because it's such a great package, from Black Star Riders to Saxon. It's just like a fan's dream come true, quite frankly.
It's a great package for fans. It definitely is. Yes. And we were talking about this with Judas Priest and their management 3 or 4 years ago, actually, about doing this British package, if we could do one. And you know, they got the opportunity, and they did it. They invited us on tour, which, you know, you've got to give it to them. They could have had anybody. I mean, bands would have paid a lot of money to be on this tour, believe me.
Yes.
But yeah, you know, they gave us the gig, and you know, the second tour we ever did was with Judas Priest in 1980 in Germany, So yeah, we have a big history with Priest. We used to do a lot of TV together back in the day, you know, Top of the Pops and all that sort of thing, and
where was all
the German TV shows. So we meet each other all the time, you know. But yeah, it was. It's great, and it's one of those tours that's becoming already becoming a legendary tour.
Yes.
You know, because the Firepower's so great, Thunderbolt's so great,
yes.
and you've got Black Star Riders.
Well,
and quite the same sort of music, but you know, they're still like, you know, a great band to see live. So I think it's a good package. I really do.
It's a great package, and I'm so glad that it's actually here tonight. But thank you for your time. It's a great pleasure.
Right.
Thank you.
You're listening to Rock Talk with Mitch Lafon. Rock Talk.